Allah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Aqidah first. We're going to start the chapter on the beliefs pertaining to the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. First we need to understand that angels are created out of light. And they're a subtle creation, what we call latif. They're very subtle, which means that they can take the form of any creation, any other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have some reports as well that say that they can turn to every creation except the pig and the dog. Sometimes they come in the form of a human being. Like we know that Sayyidina Jibreel used to come in the form of, which Sahabi, anybody know? Dihya al-Kalbi. Okay. To come in his form. So this is something that is possible for the angels to do. But like I said to you last week, everything that we do from now on is what we call sam'iyat. Sam'iyat. I.e. they can't be attained by logic. Yes? Unless you capture an angel. If you capture an angel and do some tests, that's the only way you might be able to confirm all of this in a logical manner, in a scientific manner. But we don't need to do that, do we? Our Prophet sallallahu ta'ala told us and we accept it. So look, Aqidah number 1. Angels only do and complete the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah An-Nahl, وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. They do as they are commanded. They can't do but that. They can't do. But does this mean that they don't have the mind of their own? What do you think the answer to that is? Do they have a mind of their own? By mind we don't mean literally their own mind, we mean like for them to think for themselves. Yes? Yeah, intellect if you like, yes, intellect. Do angels have intellect? Yes, angels have intellect. What we're negating here is free will. Angels don't have free will. They do as they are told, but they can think for themselves. Yes? They cannot go against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Neither intentionally, forgetfully, nor mistakenly. It just can't happen. Yes? So if somebody says to you that Astaghfirullah, Sayyidina Jibreel was meant to come to Sayyidina Ali and he forgot his way and he went to the Prophet's house. Yes? You know that that is completely wrong. Okay? People say these things. Angels are infallible, they cannot sin at all. Minor sins, major sins, all of them cannot be done by the angels. They're free of them. Aqidah number 2. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given different services to the angels to fulfill. Some angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have the duty of being in the service of the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam by bringing revelation to them. Which angel did that? Yeah, Sayyidina Jibreel ala nabiyina wa alayhi salatu wasalam. It was his duty to bring revelation to all the prophets. Some angels have the duty of making it rain. So Sayyidina Jibreel is part for the revelation. And Sayyidina Mikael is for the rain. And some have a duty to make the winds flow. There's a hadith by relation by Sayyidina Abdul Rahman bin Sabit that there are 4 angels which have been told to look after the earth, as in the umur of the earth. Sayyidina Jibreel, Sayyidina Mikael, Sayyidina Malakul Maut, and Sayyidina Israfil alayhimus salam. Sayyidina Jibreel is entrusted with revelation. He is entrusted with punishment. Any nations that need to be destroyed, it's the job of Sayyidina Jibreel to destroy them. And making the enemy lose. Hazmil Juyush. Sayyidina Mikael, he is entrusted with rain, vegetation, and rizq in all. Sustenance. Malakul Maut, what's his duty? If you met him, let me know. Anybody met him here? Yeah? No one? Don't try to fight him. Malakul Maut is entrusted with taking the souls. That's his only job. One job he has. To take the soul. You might think, why is he just being given one job when all the other angels have been given so many? It's a very tough job. Very, very tough job. And there is a narration that I recall where other angels were sent and they couldn't fulfill that command. But the relation slightly goes against what we just said. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded them to do something, then that's the only thing that they can do. So it kind of goes against it that other angels went and they couldn't take the soul. Yeah? But nevertheless, it's for the point of mentioning here that why the angel of death has one singular job. Yes? And that is that the other angels, when they couldn't take the soul out, it showed of how much of a hard job it is. Yes? The narration he mentions regarding Sayyidina Jibreel and him saying that for me to give punishment to previous nations is easier than taking the soul out. Yes? So it just shows there that how hard this duty is, hence why he only does this one duty. Okay? Regardless of that narration being correct or not. Yes? It contradicts some things, it's not correct narration, it contradicts what we have here, but it serves the point of showing how hard this duty of taking the soul is. And Sayyidina Israfil, he has the duty of creating the image in the womb. Yes? The shakal, surat of the child, the fetus. And Sayyidina Israfil only descends when something big is going to happen. Okay? How do you say it on street language? When things are going down, that's when he comes down. Okay? The whole point of mentioning these things is that angels have different types of duties. Some have it that they give rizq to the humans. Some have the duty of making the image in the womb. Some have it as the duty to make changes in the human body. Some protect a person from his enemies. Some seek out gatherings of zikr and they make themselves present there. Some write down the actions of the person, what they called? Kiraman Katibin. Okay. And many of them solely attend in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ. They attend in front of the Prophet ﷺ. 70,000 in the morning, 70,000 in the evening, and then they never return again. Some angels have the duty of presenting the salatu salam that Muslims have been reciting to the Prophet ﷺ. They have that duty. Some have the duty of questioning the dead. What are they called? Munkar and Nakir. Some have the duty of taking the soul, Malakul Maut. Some have the duty of giving punishment. The Sayyidina Jibreel. So you know when I said before that the image one, Sayyidina Israfil, he's Sahib Sur, not Suwar. He's Sahib Sur. Sahib Sur is that he will blow the trumpet. Okay. Sayyidina Israfil, I said in the back that he creates the image in the womb. Just correct that it was that he will blow the trumpet.
So he doesn't create the image?
No, he won't do that. He will blow the trumpet. So this one that he will blow the trumpet is Sahib Sur. And other than these, there are many angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that have different duties. Many other duties that maybe we can't think of. So many duties by the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes it can become difficult to just put them into one book. Aqidah number 3. Angels don't have a gender. They're neither male nor females. So is it right to say that angels are the daughters of God? Yes, that's shirk, isn't it? When the kuffar said this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them that regarding your Lord, you say that He's got daughters and they're the angels, yes? But then you yourself, you bury your daughters and claim sons for yourself. Does that make sense, does it? I.e., if you believe that women are not the best of creation, okay, then why would you relate that to the God you worship? When you give an offering, then do you give the best offering? So here they're saying that the angels are the daughters of God, but yet in their time those kuffar had a low concept of women. Yes? Where they would when a girl was born, they would bury her alive. Yeah. So God says to them, this is illogical then, isn't it? Okay. But regardless, we don't think that way, do we? Okay. You'll be shocked. When a daughter is born into our families, when I say ours, I mean Pakistani culture, what do they say? Allah ni marzi. Somebody's been through it. Okay. The sentence in itself is okay. Allah ni marzi is God's will, but it's the connotation that comes with it, the way a person says it. Yes. Look, you say at a funeral, don't you? Allah ni marzi, even though the sentence is correct, but you're showing your sorrow with that person. Yes? You're showing that you share the same pain with him. Okay? Now, that connotation is wrong. Yes? In Islam, to say Allah ni marzi upon when a daughter is born, okay, I class it as one of the worst crimes. Yes? A daughter is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet said, I believe 3 daughters, if a person brings them up right upon Islam, is guaranteed heaven. Sayyidina Aisha said 2, the Prophet said 2. Yes? She said 1, the Prophet said 1. Okay. Then she asked that, what if the person doesn't have none? Then the Prophet said, I am for that person. Yes? So blessings for everyone, isn't there? Yes? The one who's got 3 daughters and raises them right, he's got heaven. 2, he's got heaven. 1, he's got heaven. And the one who has no children at all, yes, the Prophet said, I am for him. What I mean by I am for him is that I will be his savior on the day of judgment. Meaning they got my intercession. Okay? So it tackles all bases, doesn't it? With children and without children. Yes. What's that say?
The one who doesn't raise them right.
The one who doesn't raise them right. What do you mean by raising right? Here you try your best. Yes? And you give them a good upbringing where they understand Islam, they had the education of Islam, they understand Islam. Doesn't have to mean that they become the Shaykhul Islam all the time, but they have a good understanding of good and bad. Yeah? And the parent has ticked all their duties. Yeah? Then they get this reward. Okay? They get this reward. So we have to take this out of us sometimes when people say such things. It's ignorance. It's ignorance. Because nobody's ever said it to me, but if I would give this answer, okay? The Prophet had daughters as well. Would you say the same thing to him? Yes? The Sadat, all of them are through a lady. Yes? They're through Sayyidah Fatima, to Zahra. Now, and that's the lineage of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. So are we saying something wrong with that lineage? Yes? So we have to understand these things sometimes. Yes? And if somebody does say it to you as well, then if you want to be harsh to them, then say, Allah ni marzi that your mother was born as well. Okay? You know, what else you want to say to them? Yes? He has to understand that his mother had to be alive for him to be born. Yes? So he should, if he does afsos on every other lady, then he needs to do afsos on his own mother as well. Now, why did God create her? Okay? But then he needs to understand that his own existence depends upon his own mother. Okay? That's a bit harsh though. I wouldn't tell you to do that to somebody. Especially if they're elder than you. But daughters are a blessing. And our Prophet sallallahu ta'ala wasallam came to save the daughters. Okay? It was our Prophet sallallahu wasallam who stopped this inhumanity. Yes? It wasn't the West. The West was still killing their daughters. Even after Islam, when Islam came, the West was still killing his daughters. When the Arabs have stopped killing their daughters because of the Prophet ﷺ, the Romans were still killing their daughters. Okay? It's something for you to understand. So it wasn't something that the West had brought. Yeah, where they talk about freedom and things like this. It was really Islam that brought it into the world, okay, and gave the rights to women. Before, women were treated as a property, yes, and when Islam came, women were equal to men. Just as a man was free, a human is free. Just as a man has rights, a lady has rights. Okay? Oh, there's difference in how they created and what specific duties each one might have. That's different. Yeah? But in Sharia, they're both equal. They are both equal. How? If you go and smack a man, yes, and you take his eye out, yes, he can trial you for qasas, can't he? In Islam, you do the same thing to the woman. Can she trial you for qasas as well? Yes, she can. So that's how they're equal in terms of their rights. Anyway, Aqidah number 4. To say that the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are qadeem. Let's see if you remember it. We haven't used this word for a long, long time. What's qadeem? What's that? I don't have a pen. I have one pen. What's qadeem mean? Created. Uncreated. Yeah, we'll just say without beginning. Okay, qadeem. The opposite of is hadis. Okay. Hadis is created. So what it means is qadeem without beginning, and hadis is with beginning. Now, to say that the angels are without beginning is kufr. Yes? Because to be without beginning is only the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to say angels are khaliq in the literal sense, that they are creators. Yes? In terms of that they create from nothing. Yes? This is kufr as well. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do that. Aqidah number 5. The number of the angel is only known by the one who created them. So we don't have a specific number to know how much angels there are. So the one who created them, he knows best. Who created them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by him telling his prophet, and his prophet knows as well. But 4 angels out of these many, many angels are very famous. Sayyidina Jibreel. Do you know him? Yes. I had a funny fatwa, not a fatwa, a question the other day by somebody. Someone claiming to meet Sayyidina Jibreel every single day. Okay. Sayyidina Jibreel is, what do you say, the angels for the Anbiya, isn't he? Yes. So he's always at the service of the Anbiya. Yes. And I would say that he's now in the service of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Because no more prophets to come, are there? Yes. No more revelation. So now he's in, other than his other duties that he has to fulfill, he's at the service of the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. So he doesn't just go around to people. Yes? He does not go around to people. If you see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then I would say you got a good chance of meeting Sayyidina Jibreel as well. Yes? Because he will be at the service of the Prophet. Sayyidina Jibreel, Sayyidina Mika'il, we've been through this. Sayyidina Israfil, he's going to blow the trumpet. I'll reiterate that, what I said before about him making the image in the womb, that's not him. He will blow the trumpet. Okay. Sayyidina Israel. Anybody know him?
Not yet.
Not yet? Do you know who he is? Angel of death. Okay, Malakul Maut.
And Sheikh, Hazrat Jibreel, is he also the leader of all the angels?
Yes, he is the leader of the angels, the most virtuous angel. Yes, he has the highest rank amongst the angels. Balki the order that we mention them in, that's their rank. And he says here that these are the angels who have the highest rank amongst all of the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say the whole world, in my commentation, the whole world is like a plate in the palm of Sayyidina Israel, the Malakul Maut. Yes? Which means that he does not literally have to be present in front of you to take your life. Yes? That's some sophisticated iPad. Yes, they can just touch it and your soul is taken. Yes? And it's described like that in Hadith. The Prophet said like a tray. The whole world is like a tray in front of him. That's not something for flat earthers though, okay? Somebody might take that Hadith and say, look, the Prophet called it a tray. Yeah, the whole world is like a tray. Right? So that means that the earth is flat.
Does that mean that angels are bound by time or they're not bound by time?
The angels are bound by time. Okay? The angels are bound by time. What we mean by time here is different to what we might consider to be time on this earth. Yes? Look at it as in your time in space. Yes? Forget that, right? You age less in space, don't you? Yes? And if you look up at the stars now, then you're looking back into time. That's what they say, don't they? If you look at Mars, like they say, then is the sparkles that you see, yes, they have happened maybe a long time ago sometime. Yeah, many of million light years of time ago. Which shows that time is different. We're not saying it's slower or faster or whatever it is. We're saying that it's different. Yes. Yes. So here, every creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bound by time. Okay? Except our Prophet. Our Prophet is not bound by time. Time is bound to our Prophet. Okay? Time is bound to our Prophet. Aqidah number 6. To dishonor, disrespect, and even the smallest dishonor and disrespect to an angel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is disbelief. Okay. The Jews used to do that. The Jews, I believe, okay, find it. قل من كان عدوا لجبريل فإنه نزله على قلبك بإذن الله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say, O Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, man kana aduwan, whoever is an enemy for Jibreel. Yes? فَإِنَّهُ نَزَّلَهُ, know that indeed he has revealed the Quran upon your heart by the permission of Allah, affirming what was in front of them, i.e. the Jews or the Christians, and a guidance and a glad tiding for believers. Man kana aduwan lillahi, and whoever is an enemy for Allah and His angels and His messengers and Jibreel and Mikal, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ أَدُوٌّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ, then indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is an enemy for the disbelievers. Now here, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ أَدُوٌّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ shows first of all that if a person says anything about Sayyidina Jibreel, for example, or any other angel, then he is coming to the realm of disbelief, and he is now an enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So here this verse was, I believe, was revealed because certain other religions, they thought that Jibreel was the enemy. Yes, Jibreel was the enemy. And I believe certain sects within the Jewish tradition, they believed that they didn't like Sayyidina Jibreel, yes, for whatever reasons that they had. Now those people were now accepting Islam, yes, but they were carrying this belief on. And then this verse was revealed to tell them, no, Sayyidina Jibreel ala nabiyina wa alayhi salatu wasalam is the one who brings revelation. Okay? But what it means here is the smallest disliking towards an angel, the smallest insult to an angel is complete disbelief. Okay? Now, one of those disrespects and dishonors that ignorant people say is, yes, is the person that they hate, yes, and they'll say something like, the angel of death is here. Yes, we won't understand in Urdu because we don't use it as a saying in Urdu, but in English rather. But in Urdu we use it. Okay, Malakul Maut aaya. Yes, they say that, don't they? Somebody who you really, really hate. Yes, they say Maut na Frishta aaya. Yes, or Sayyidina Israel or something like this. They say we won't say they're kufr because they depend upon the person, but they are close to kufr. Okay? They are close to disbelief. Aqidah number 7. To deny the existence of the angels is disbelief. Why is that? They mentioned in the Quran. Okay. If somebody says that they believe in angels, but then they say this after it, but they believe that angels are the name of that strength which makes you do good, the ability that makes you do good. Is that denial of the existence of angels? Yeah? Is, isn't it? Is it? It is, yes. Because we believe angels to be a creation, and such a creation that has a specific they have specific duties and they have a specific image and whatever else we said regarding them. Yeah? This takes away all that, doesn't it? This takes away all that. That they are a name of a strength as opposed to being a being, a physical being. That's disbelief as well.
It's like when all the angels were talked about on for the Adam was an action, so they had to.
Yes. Which shows that they're physical.
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning, what it's trying to say is to say that the word angel, wherever it comes, is really a metaphor. It doesn't refer to a creation, it's actually a strength inside a person, yeah, to do good. This is disbelief as well. Angels exist.
Who potentially holds that sort of view?
People have them, naturalists.
Yeah.
Okay? We call them naturey, don't we?
Yeah.
They're a whole sect. Okay? Be careful of them.
Is that sect within Islam or some other religion?
Within Islam, well, however you want to look at it. We had, I think, so in India and Pakistan, you had them. I don't know if you've heard of Ghamdi. Yes, I would class him to be one as well, even though he might not claim to be one, but I class him to be one. I can't remember regarding Nudwa, the Nadwa scholars, the Nadavis. Yes. Regarding the person who opened that university, it's said regarding him as well that he had some of these inclinations, yes, of towards these naturalist sides. Yeah. Yeah, Ghamdi was that person, like for example, where we have the waqia of Abraha coming to destroy the Kaaba, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the birds. Yes. In Surah Fil, okay? In Surah Fil, Alam tara kayfa fa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He sent the birds, okay, and then they threw down the stones, and Abraha came with elephants. And the Quraysh had never seen elephants before. The horses had not seen elephants, so they couldn't fight with them. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought these birds with little stones, and they threw them, and they splattered all these elephants on the humans. He says regarding this that it wasn't birds. The Quraysh went to the mountain tops and threw down boulders. Okay? But I would class that as Sari Kufr, because it's denial of the Quran. Yes? Denial of the Quran. Even though he might do ta'wil, whatever he does, the ta'wil is against the apparentness of the Quran. So you have naturalists in this way. They'll try to give everything a logical sense, which doesn't have to be done. And you have loads of them as well.
Ramji from Pakistan?
Yes.
Maududi student.
I'm not sure whose student he is. That's it. That's the belief regarding angels. Okay. The belief regarding angels. So we believe them to be a physical creation created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to be careful in regards to how we speak of them as well. Okay. Calling somebody an angel shouldn't be done. Okay. Calling somebody, yes, that should not be done. Because angels are infallible, then it's like, now I'm not talking about naming a child angel, okay? That's different. A name can mean different things. Naming a child angel is different to calling a person an angel. Mara frishta hai gaya. Okay? You know, you say, you're an angel, you saved my life. Yes, you say that in English. You should try to stay away from things like that. Yeah, you're my little angel. Okay, it's just, even though it means something else in the English, but we should try to stay away from it. Try not to make it common usage. Okay, just because of the infallibility of angels. Okay. More so with adults, children are still fine because they're protected. More so with adults, try not to call adults angels. Okay. No adult is an angel. Let's go to the next chapter. That's regarding the jinn. Go for it.
What about calling people the devil?
You should call no one the devil. Yes, but obviously the word shaitan has many meanings. Like we have shayateen, devils, min al-jinnati wan-nas, from amongst humans and jinn. Yes, so in that sense you can call them devils, but if you mean the devil, yes, that he's the devil, as in Iblis himself, that's wrong to do. That is wrong to do. Okay. But one of the meanings of devil is somebody who's wicked, who's devilish. Yes, that can be used for humans though. But like I said, the shaitan, Iblis himself, Satan himself, incarnated, yeah, that should not be used. Jinn. Aqidah number 1. Jinn are created from the fire. Go for it.
What about giving them names, like if you were to call them the names of angels?
Names of angels, according to the Ahnaf, is okay. I don't see anything wrong with it. You do find Shawafi, Ibn Qayyim, I think, who said it's makruh to have names of the angels. But in Hanafi sources, to my knowledge, I've never come across any Hanafi saying that it's makruh to keep those names. Okay? Like Mikael, Jibreel. Okay? There are scholars named Jibreel. We have one scholar, contemporary scholar. What's his full name? Sheikh Jibril Haddad. Fawd al-Haddad. Yeah, he's prolific writer, isn't he? Yes, he has lots of books in English.
What about Isa?
Even prophets' names are fine. Yes?
Just heard about Hazrat Isa's name. That's some, I don't know how.
No, our Prophet ﷺ has rather encouraged us to keep the names of the prophets. Okay? Name our children by the names of the prophets. Okay? So, Mikael, Jibril, all of these names, I've never come across any Hanafi to say that they are disliked. And we've seen many scholars throughout history carry these names as well. Even names like Yasin, some scholars write Yasin is makruh. There's many scholars in history that had the name Yasin, Taha, and various things like that.
Pronunciation of these names. So like, if it's Mikael,
Yes.
but somebody says Mikhail.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. In the English, it's fine. Okay, it doesn't make much of a difference. Okay, at least the name represents what it is. Yes, we say Mikael or Michael. Yes, it's fine. It's the same thing. You say Adam or Adam, the same thing. You say Ibrahim or is it Abraham. Okay, isn't that the American way of saying it? Okay. You'll be shocked in terms of how many ways in like these angels' names or previous prophets' names, like Sayyidina Ibrahim, how their names, how many ways there are to say their name, even within Islam.
Yeah,
Yes?
when it comes to the correct spelling of the Prophet's name.
Correct spelling and pronunciation as well. Yes? Abraham, one comes. Yes? So we say Ibrahim normally because that's the recitation that reached us. Yeah? Some have Abraham, some have others. Yes? So you'll be shocked. So this is why you can have that leniency in it then. Yeah? If somebody spells Mikael in the best possible way he can into the English language, yeah? When he goes to school, they pronounce it slightly differently. Still fine, doesn't matter, it means the same thing. Okay?
Turks have their own pronunciation for Muhammad. Don't say Mahbad.
Yes, the Turks have their own language in saying it, but they do say Muhammad for the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Yes, Mehmet is slightly different in their own language as how they use it. Okay. And I believe it was Salam for them though, wasn't it? Yes. You have to understand, it's a mixture of their own language and Arabic. Okay, because of the Ottoman times. In that language is fine, isn't it? Yes, because it's referring to that. It's the same meaning, it carries the same meaning. It's not derogative, is it? It carries the same meaning. Okay, but we won't use it for the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. We use it for everybody else. We won't use it for the Prophet. Yes, you can't call the Prophet Muhammad. No, we won't use that. It's Muhammad. And you'll see that with the Turks. When they mention the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they say the name properly. They won't say anything but the name properly. For everybody else, it's Effendi and Mehmet. Okay? So yeah, having angels' names, there's nothing wrong with it. Sheikh Jibril Fawd Haddad, he's a student of Sheikh Muhammad al-Yaqubi as well. He studied a lot with him. So angels are created from smokeless fire. It comes in the Quran. Smokeless fire. Sorry, jinn, not angels. Sorry. We're talking about angels, we forgot. Jinn are created from smokeless fire. Not all, but some of them have the strength of being shapeshifters. That's a better word for it. Okay. They can change the image. We call them shapeshifters. Okay. They don't have to. They don't have to, no. It depends on the strength of the angel. Sorry, I'm still stuck on the angels. Depends on the strength of the jinn. Okay. it's not necessary that those jinn that turn into humans that they have some kind of deformity. But there might even be jinn around you and you don't even know. Okay. A lot of good jinn come around to visit sometimes. So, and it happens, it takes place. Yes. Maybe some of you are jinn in the class. But it doesn't mean that they'll have to have a deformity. Okay. But they can shape-shift as they please. But these are those that have the strength for it. Not every jinn has the strength. I'm emphasizing jinn now. Every jinn does not have the strength to shape-shift. Okay. The lives of the jinn are very lengthy. Very, very lengthy. If I remember correctly, the grandson of Iblis himself accepted Islam on the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes? Grandson of Iblis. Now you can fathom from there how long of a life he had. Okay. That's a good question. I don't recall it. To be fair, I don't even think the hadith mentions his name. Okay, just called him the grandson.
Did she don't have a wife then?
Yeah, he might have a shaitani. Yeah, you know, it's going to come later on. Jinns are like humans. Yes, they reproduce everything same as humans. Okay. It'll come later on, well, it might never come, but it is possible, and use the word possible very carefully. Possible does not mean it's permissible. Okay? It's possible for jinn and humans to interbreed. Okay? That is possible. It's happened.
Can you
Okay.
explain
I'll come to that later on, inshallah. So it's possible for them to interbreed, i.e. for human to be half jinn and half human. That can happen. Okay. If it comes later on, we mention further on it there. But in this ummah we've been told to stay away from the jinn.
How is that possible if you can't see them? How is that possible?
Jinn can be seen.
Can they?
Yes, jinn can be seen. It's not necessary that.
Taking forms in.
Yeah, when they take forms, even in their own natural form, you can see them. Yes, you can see them.
Religions have because they said, I don't know, I read somewhere that they don't have a childhood, so that's why they like taking children away. I don't know if that's true.
No.
They don't have childhood.
No, they don't abduct. No. That's probably a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory that jinn are like human. They do everything like humans. Yes, they eat, drink, everything. Obviously, their food will be different, but they do everything. Because we've been told not to recognize jinn, it's best to stay away from them. Yes, we've been told to stay away from them, so we don't want to recognize them as well. We leave them be. We don't need to recognize them.
So how would you know to stay away if you don't?
Let's say when a jinn comes in front of you, you'll know it's a jinn. Okay? It'll let you know that's a jinn. Now you need to run out of the room. Okay?
What about when people are like possessed?
We'll come to possession later on. I'll give you my verdict regarding possession, okay? But let's carry on with this. Let's finish it. Those who mess around, they're known as shaitan, the devils. Okay? So out of jinn, those that mess around, do bad things, they are known as shaitan. Jinn are like humans. Okay? They're zi aql. They are zi aql. That means they have an intellect. They have souls. And they have a body. They have tawalud and tanasul, i.e. they reproduce and they have lineages. They eat, they drink, they live, they die. Same as humans. Aqidah number 2. Amongst jinn, there are, what's that? Number 8. We started a new chapter, so this is why number 1 and this is number 2. Amongst the jinn, some jinn are Muslims, some are kafirs. But in terms of kufr amongst jinn is prevalent, meaning there are more kafir jinns than there are Muslim jinns.
Does this mean that they possess free will?
What's that, sorry?
Does this mean that they possess free will as well?
They possess free will, yes. Yes, they have free will. When we say they're like humans, everything regarding us in terms of Sharia is upon them as well. Where we have to do da'wah, Muslim jinn have to do da'wah to other jinn. So, because the Prophet is the same, our Prophet wasn't just sent to us, he was sent to jinn as well. Okay? So, the Prophet preached to them as well. The Prophet used to preach to them on a weekly basis. He used to preach to them, talk to them. Whatever revelation came towards humans, meaning was told to humans, was told to the jinn as well. The way you recite the Quran, that's the way they recite the Quran. The way you're having classes now, they probably have classes as well. Yes? But the problem is because there's less of them, then sometimes some of these jinns come to teachers, human teachers, and they study with humans as well. Yeah? But it's dealt with very, very carefully. Okay. The Muslim jinns are very polite. They don't harm. They don't scare. Okay?
Speaking from experience.
They don't harm. They don't say anything. Okay? And they're under very strict conditions. If they do say anything to any human student, they will be expelled. Okay? Just like humans, that amongst Muslims, human Muslims, you have Muslims that are good and Muslims that are bad and so on and so forth. Same with the jinn. Jinn are the same. Some are Sunni, some are Wahhabi. Yes, happens. Some are Jews, some are Christians, some are Hindus. Okay? All the religions that you have in humans, even atheists, okay? Jinn are amongst them is exactly the same. Aqidah number 3. To deny the existence of jinn. Is kufr. Or to say that jinn refers to the ability to do bad. Yes? To do sin. This is kufr. Yes? To say that a jinn or a shaitan is not an actual being, but rather it's an ability to do bad. That thing inside your body that makes you do bad. Yes? This is kufr. Yes? Even though there is ability like that, but to call that thing itself, the ability itself the shaitan, or to say that wherever shaitan is mentioned in the Quran, it refers to the ability to do bad. This is kufr. Because then you deny the existence of shaitan and you deny the existence of jinn. So it's kufriya, disbelief. In terms of the question regarding interbreeding, according to some narrations, Sayyida Bilqis, yes, who's thrown Sayyidina Queen of Sheba, her throne was taken by Sayyidina Sulaiman, wasn't it? Yes, and it was a massive throne. It wasn't like a small throne. It was a massive throne which took, from what I know, they used to have like 100 rooms to it. That's how big a throne was. So men were carrying it. When she came to Sayyidina Sulaiman, there was a rumor about her, wasn't there? That she had animal feet. Yes, jinn-like feet. Hence when the Quran says that she walked over water, Sayyidina Sulaiman made a palace out of glass. Yes, and he put water there. So when she saw it, she had to lift her dress up, and then she had to walk through the water. But that's when Sayyidina Sulaiman saw her feet. Okay, and some historians write that that's when he wanted to now marry her. And some historians say he did marry her as well. Okay. But because the jinn, the actual rumor started that the jinn knew, it was actually started by the jinn as well. The jinn knew that if Sayyidina Sulaiman gets married to her, yes, then all of this ease that we've got, everything we have, yes, that we're living nicely under Sayyidina Sulaiman, we got everything. Whatever he asks for is there, yes. But if he gets married to her, then she might make us do other things, yes, or try to just go. Okay? So because of that, they didn't want Sayyidina Sulaiman to marry her. They spread this rumor that she had jinn-like feet or animal feet. Yeah? So he divided this, and then some historians say that he married her later on. It's said that she was half human and half jinn, hence why the rumor stuck. Okay? For him to act upon that rumor, for him to make glass and then put water on it, and for her to see the water and then lifting her dress up, okay, that's acting upon the rumor, isn't it? Yes? Meaning he somewhat accepted the rumor, now he wants to put it to test. Is she actually like that? Yeah. So him putting it to test, there had to be something out there as well, and that was that it was most likely well known that she was half human and half jinn. Okay? So that's what happened in that case. And I think the story goes either her father or her mother, I don't recall it properly. Khatib Baghdadi writes, most likely her father. No, another king, her grandfather then. One of the kings, he thought that nobody is equal to his daughter. Yes? And then a jinn came and he thought that the jinn was equal to his daughter in terms of rank. Yes? So, and he was a king as well in his own realm, in terms of jinns. He was a king. So then he got his daughter married that way. And the lady to be born from there was Bilqis. Yes? Hence she was half human and half jinn. Okay? Hence why she could see the jinn as well then. Yes? Because historians write many narrations that she would see the jinn. Yes? He was called Ham, the great grandson of Iblis. Was called Ham. What was I saying before? Bilqis. Okay. So yeah, but in this ummah of the Prophet, that's not possible. That's not permissible. We should stay away from that and stuff like this. It's haram. As for possession, possession. What we mean by possession? If you mean by possession that a jinn enters the body, yeah, I don't believe such nonsense. Okay, but I do believe in a jinn possessing in terms of controlling a human. Okay, controlling a human, that able to control a human being in terms of his thoughts, in terms of whispering him in his mind control, hypnosis, and whatever else you want to call it. Yes, that can take place. Okay, that can take place. Our big Ustad used to deny this as well. He used to say that jinn do not possess in terms of entering the body. Yes, but they can control a person as a puppet. Yes, but that's not every jinn. Like I said, jinn have different strengths, and only certain jinns can control a person. A majority of the jinns that will control a person, and that's what we mean by possession. Yes, controlling. Majority of the jinns that control a person are jinns that are they're strong, but you have to understand that they are lower on the chain as well. They are lower on the chain. I.e., they are strong, that they have the strength or the ability to possess a person, but in terms of this chain of the jinns and their ranks, yes, they're somewhere at the bottom. That's the least of their abilities. And for a person to be possessed by, for a jinn to possess a human being, yeah, amongst the jinns, I would say is considered to be a job amongst criminals. For example, I don't know, the least job you will give to the criminal, yes, the lowest job that you'll give to him. I don't know what that would be amongst criminals. Okay, but if you want me to give you an example, the other side is like a permitted job. You look at it as, for example, a person to be cleaning the sewers. Yeah, something that you may not will look towards. You don't see that you're worthy of doing that job. Yes, a toilet cleaner, for example. Yes, meaning is something that you, if you're proudful, then you won't look towards. Yes, this is how this job is seen. So majority of the time, what happens is that when a person is possessed, yes, that jinn that's there, he's being controlled as well. Yes, he's being controlled as well, and he's held to ransom. He might have a family and he might have a debt. Yes, and some of these bigger gangster jinns, yes, they are holding him to account, and the shayateen, ifrit type of jinns, they are holding him to account, saying, look, if you do this job for us, we will clear all your debts, and whatever else there may be. They might threaten him, say to him that if you don't do this for us, then we will kill all your family. Yeah? So just to protect his family, then he will come out and possess a person. But the point is, you might take that jinn, yes, they will send another one. Yes. And the trouble there is that you have to then summon the ifrit. If you summon the ifrit and defeat him, yeah, then the person's okay. But alhamdulillah, the ifrits don't commonly get involved. Yes, unless there is a big devilish plan, yes, of a human amil with Satan himself, or with those who are close to Satan. When they have a big devilish plan, that's when maybe ifrit will get involved as well. Yes, make it look like that he's controlled by this human. Yes. But then that's when you're talking big things. Okay. So in terms of possession, I personally don't believe, and big Ustaz Ata Muhammad bin Dialbi used to say, no, they do not enter the body of a person, but they do have control over a person. Because we told you that jinn are ajsam, they're physical. Yes? Question is, where does he reside in your body? He has mass. He might be a shapeshifter, yes? But shape shifting means that he shifts all his mass into different images, doesn't he? But the body must stay the same, doesn't it? The weight, yes, you have to understand this. Because he can't shift his weight.
Is it like Terminator?
Yeah, like Terminator, if you look at something like that.
To give that as a topical example,
Yes.
so people understand it.
Yes, something like Terminator, or that the one that's turned into liquid actually.
Yeah,
Yes,
Terminator.
that's the one, yeah. It's something similar to that where it has to stay the same. The mass has to stay the same. Otherwise, you'll say that he's losing parts of himself.
What if it's like a dramatic weight gain?
No, he can increase his weight, that's different. But what I'm saying is when his shape shifts, okay, he has to keep that mass that he has. Otherwise, there'll be problems. But regardless of what it is, he has mass. He is a body. Where is he? In your stomach? Is he sat on your nose? Inside your nose? Where is he sat? Where is he living? Yes? How does he eat then? You know, is he a parasite that he touched your stomach and like the worms that you have in human bodies? Yes? Does he live like that? What is it? These are questions Ustaz have put forward.
What about when they kind of, in effect, indirectly speak through you?
Again, it's control, isn't it? And we have examples of that through hypnosis,
Yeah.
don't we?
What about the other way around, where people say that they're in control of the jinn?
I would question that. I would question if truly are humans in control of a jinn. When we say control. Big awliya never claim to be in control of jinn. They'll say we were visited by jinn.
But a lot now they say that.
Yeah, it's all dopey drama. Yes? It's a sales pitch, isn't it? Do you understand? It's a sales pitch for you to get involved and for you to do things. Okay. That's not denied, there might be jinn with them. But to say that they're in control, that's a serious claim. Okay. So this is jinn. Any questions regarding jinn?
I don't know if I can't recall properly, but some people say that Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani had some control over jinn. Is that true?
Yes, Sayyidina Abdul, in terms of control, what we mean by control is here. What the control he's talking about is that he rules over them. Yes, and he owns them. That's the control here that they're talking about. The control here means that they obey him. Yes? That they accept his commands. Yes? They see him as an authority within Islam. Okay? It's a different kind of control. Yes? So there's many awliya like that would do irshad to jinn. Just as they do irshad to humans, guide humans, they would guide jinn as well. Yes? And that's permissible for them to do in terms of guidance. Okay? And when they would command jinn, then the jinn would then follow suit. Okay? Just as humans would do. So the control that we're talking about, two different things here.
You said they have intellect, but their intellect, is it equal to our own or is it greater or less?
They can be greater, yes, through their powers. Because if you look at jinn and some of the powers that they have, that's a sign that the intellect is can be greater. Okay, can be greater.
In relation to their ability to think, can they think like they're more intelligent, are they smarter than us, are they?
If you mean in an innovative way,
Yeah.
yes, then that's not necessary because majority of them are mischievous. Yeah? So even though they might have those abilities and have that capability of thinking, yeah, sometimes a person can be really clever but he's mischievous. Yes? Like I find many of those children that go to private schools like that. Yeah? I teach a lot of them that go to private school, but I find this common theme in them that they're really bright but they're too mischievous. And that mischievousness does not allow them to concentrate on one thing. Yes? And like you start doing this now, okay, and you sat here for an hour, many of those children that are really clever, they'll only handle it for about 15 minutes and then they have to do something else. Okay? And what happens with that is then they don't attain anything then. Yes?
ADHD.
Yes. They don't really attain anything in terms of basic sciences, and they never become all-rounders. In Islam, we never had this thing of going to one particular science. Okay? Yes, they're specialists. We call it takhassus now, but if you look in previous ages, they never had that. Yes, I think what you have in university, where you just choose one specific science. Previous ages, you just do everything, whatever you can get your hands on, just do it, because they couldn't concentrate on it. Yeah. One of the downfalls of this age, where we cannot concentrate for too long, and we have to keep changing our interests. Okay. The shaitan, I'm not comparing it to those children, but the shayateen or those jinns are similar, because they have this natural ability to be mischievous all the time. Yes, that's a bit of the downfall. Yes, this is where they can spiral out of control. Okay, so they might have that intelligence, same as humans, maybe more, but because of how they are, yeah, they just can't progress it further.
Because of their natural inclinations to be more
Yes.
mischievous.
Yes. Yes. Just like a person who's really, really clever, and I know many people, I have many friends who are really, really clever, yes, but just because they can't keep their hands on one thing, yes, and what happens to them as well is that they become proudful, that they can understand everything, but because of that pride as well, they can't achieve anything as well. They're constantly in 10 different things. The reason I'm giving the example is because the jinn are similar. They're mischievous in that sense, they just get their hands into everything, yes, but to spoil it. Any more questions before we go down? Yes, there was a Sahabi who was kidnapped by the jinns. There was a young person as well by the name of Masruq. Masruq means kidnapped. So he was kidnapped by the jinn as well. Okay, and this happened. Yeah, it happens. The ulama say when you do wrong things towards the jinn, then they might kidnap you. Yes, they don't kidnap you for fun. Oh, the devilish ones might do that, but if you are practicing Muslim or you have just even got faith, they won't just kidnap you. Your faith is a protection. Having Islam in you is a protection. They can't just come out in like the shaitan comes and just says, I take you. He can't do that because Islam is protecting you. But if you do something abusive towards them, and one of those things is that jinn, they say that like to live under trees and then you urinate underneath a tree. Yes, that's the common thing that's mentioned in stories. So if you do something like that, and then what happens is that the jinn get angry and then they just kidnap you. Yes. And there's a scholar by the name of Jinni, I think, because he was taken by jinn, I believe. That can happen. That can happen. Yes. Seems to happen a lot in America, in Texas as well. Yes? Where they get abducted. Okay. So that can happen. Okay. In that sense. We'll stop there. What was that question, sorry?
Can humans physically see angels and jinns?
Can humans physically see angels and jinn? Yes, they can. Why not? The Sahaba Ikram saw Sayyidina Jibreel, didn't they? Yes? What's that? Yeah, Hadith Jibreel, when he came and he sat down with the Prophet ﷺ, and then he asked the questions, and then right at the end, Sayyidina Umar, the Prophet asked Sayyidina Umar, do you know who that was? The Sayyidina Umar said, Allah and His Messenger know best. Then the Prophet said it was Jibreel and he had come to teach you the deen. Yes? That's that. In terms of jinn, Sayyidina Ali saw jinn. Okay. When the Prophet gave them khutbah once, so it can be done, can be seen. We'll stop there, inshallah. We go down. We'll do Nul Da, inshallah, the fiqh. Did we finish Adhan? Yes, we did. Anyone met any jinn yet? Oh, there's no jinn in here. Right, we're on the chapter of the conditions of Salah and the arkan of Salah, i.e. the things which are farz in Salah. In this book he says that there are 27 things which are necessary for Salah. all of them are very important. The first, keep an eye on the numbers because my book's not numbered. So I might go here, there with the numbers. Number one is tahara, cleanliness from impurity. That's hadath asghar and akbar. Yes. Meaning anything that comes out of the body, for you to be free of that. Cleanliness of the body. So no impurity should be on your body. This is still number one, by the way. Of your clothes. Clothes should be pure as well. The place that you're going to pray on. But pure from all impurity which is not forgiven. If you go back to previous lessons, we told you that if najasat-e ghaliza, major impurity, is a size of a £2 coin or more, then it's not forgiven, is it? Anything less than that is forgiven. So if it's less than that, then it's fine. But if it's more than that, then it's impure, then you need to be free of it. To such a point that in your place that you're worshipping, the place of both feet, both hands, both knees, and the forehead, all need to be clean. So your place of prostration. So everything that touches the ground in prostration, these places need to be clean. So this is what I mean by tahara. So tahara is cleanliness from both impurities which come out of the body, cleanliness of the body, of clothes and the place, from impurities which are not forgiven. And I told you what that means regarding the £2 coin. And when it comes to the place, the bare minimum should be that your 2 feet, both hands and your knees and your forehead, where they touch in sajda, they need to be clean. This is what I mean by tahara for salah. Yes? That is number 1. Any questions on that so far? No? Number 2 is satrul awra. Satrul awra. To cover the awrat. Okay? To cover the awra, i.e. for a man and a woman to keep covered those things which are impermissible to uncover in front of others. Okay. This is the condition for salah. But if the aura is uncovered by the jaib here, one jaib, pocket, this one that, but here jaib means, what do you call it? This part? Collar? Yes? What you put your head through? Okay. If this is kind of loose, so for example, if a man goes into sajda and his shirt is kind of loose, and then for example somebody sat in front of him looking directly at him, and somehow he sees all the way to his lower region, yes, but through his top half of his shirt, this does not mean that his aura is uncovered. Okay. Or for example, for ladies, their arms might be covered, but because the sleeves are kind of long, yes, an onlooker can see all the way into your forearm, yes. That does not mean that you are not covered. It means you are still covered. I.e., when you're still covered, then it doesn't affect your salah. Okay. And the other example he gives is from underneath. Yes? I.e., a person is looking from underneath above. Okay? again, this will not affect your salah because you're covered, aren't you? Yes? You can't stop the eyes of another person wondering. Okay? This is why sometimes we say you can't blame women for everything. Okay? Yeah, it's, like we say, oh, they should. Obviously, we have that point where women should dress respectfully, modestly, and everything. But then, having said that as well, we can't take all the blame away from the men. Yes? The men have to behave responsibly as well. Yes? Lower your gaze and walk. And you can't just say, a woman's there, that's it, it's fitna. Yeah? The point is here is that just as a lady is a fitna for a man is a fitna for a lady. I was just generally discussing something with somebody, and they kept saying that a lady should not sing in public because she's a fitna. Yes? Regardless if it should be or shouldn't be, that's a different matter. The point we're looking at here is the reason he used. Yes? That he said that she's a fitna. The matter of her singing in public in front of men is a different matter altogether. Yes? And ulama have said that she shouldn't do that in front of other men. Yes? But using the dalil of a lady being fitna, okay, can be applied to men. And he said to me, how is it applied to men? I go, what's going to happen to when a woman sings? He'll go crazy, that's what he said. Yes? He'll go crazy over the woman. Yes? I said to him, then women are going crazy over Justin Bieber. Yeah? If that isn't fitna, then I don't know what is. Yes? So do you see it works both ways? Yes? So you can't always shift the blame to one side. Yeah? It has to be balanced. Yeah? Anyway.
For the oral to be uncovered, is there a time limit on how long?
You won't time it, but for salah, it needs to be covered up straight away. But if it's uncovered for a time lapse of such a time that it takes you to do one complete fard in salah, like ruku. It's only 3 tasbeehs, isn't it? Yes? About 3 seconds. Then if it's unveiled for that long, intentionally, then it'll break your salah. Okay? So this is what he meant here. The third one, and we'll talk about the aura later on more. The third condition is istiqbalul qibla, to face the qibla. To face the qibla. Okay. What does qibla mean? Direction. Yes? Direction. So if I'm like this, am I in your direction? Yes? And if I'm like this, am I still in your direction? No. Okay. So to be in your direction, do I need to be directly in front of you? No. That's it. You got the answer. When we say qibla, if you cannot see the Kaaba, then you have a qibla. Okay. When you can see the Kaaba, then your qibla is the Kaaba. I.e., you have to be directly in line with the Kaaba. Okay. Do you understand that? The point is, if this is the Kaaba, yes? If you're standing here, yes? Then you have to stand in such a position that any way you face, it should be touching that wall. Yes? So if you're standing here like this and you face this way, and it touches the corner, that's fine. If you're standing straight and it's touching there, meaning anywhere in there directly, if you drew a line between you and the Kaaba and it touches the wall of the Kaaba, then your prayer is fine. But if you face such a way like this, that if you drew a line from you to the Kaaba, you'll just miss it. That prayer is not done. But when is this? When you can see the Kaaba. Yes? But let's say you're in Mecca. But what happens is, a lot of tall buildings are in front of your way. Yes? A lot of tall buildings. You can't see the Kaaba. So you stand here. Yes? Now here, The direction is so important. Not that we draw a line between you and the Kaaba. What here is the direction, meaning if you face slightly off it, yes, and you drew a line and you went there, that's still fine. Okay? I don't think we can draw a line from Bradford to Mecca. Can we? Yeah. So having said that, that was just baby steps. Now look at the actual masla. The actual masla is that you face the Qibla, yes, but you don't have to be bang on, as in the direction of the Kaaba. You have 45 degrees to either side. 45 degrees to either side. I.e. towards your left. If Qibla was bang on in the middle, there, this is the Qibla, yes? If you are 45 degrees to this side or that side, as long as you're within this shaded area, yes, you're fine. You are fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? Hence, if you're reading prayer in this room and you're facing that way, okay, then your prayer is fine because the Qibla is that way. Yes? In front of the Kaaba, it just means that you have to be directly facing it. You know, like now I'm facing this, aren't I? Yes? But I'm directly, if you were to draw a line between me and this board, it would touch. Yes? But if I turn slightly this way, right, I'm not facing it now. I'm not standing directly in front of it, horizontal to it. I'm just off. So if you draw a line, it'll go past the board. Yes? But that's when you're looking at the Kaaba. Yes? When you can see it with your own eyes. Yes? When you're there. Even if you're in Makkah, but you're within the hotels and you can't see it, then the direction of the Kaaba comes. With the direction of the Kaaba is the Qibla, and that's a direction. That's a direction that which you face. Meaning you don't need to draw a line between yourself. Meaning i.e. face directly. You don't need to get your phones out, right, and make sure that it's whatever number it is. Yes, as long as you have some kind of reasoning as to why Qibla is this way. Yes, you can read within that 45 degrees. 45 either side, which is 90 degrees altogether. Does that make sense? Okay. The plane, no, you know, on the plane, you have to face the direction it's traveling in. Okay. Like downstairs, if you read namaz downstairs, our rows are straight, aren't they? Yes? It's according to this fatwa. The Qibla slightly off on that side. Yeah. You're roughly, if I remember correctly, when I sorted it out, it's about 30 degrees off. Or maybe 25. 25 to 30 degrees off. Okay?
Or if, like, you see someone in the middle of some people in the softest slightly.
Yeah, they're those people who have always been praying here, so they know that change. Okay? But you carry on as you're going. You'll see some elders because they knew, because at one time the Qibla used to be that way. They used to read towards the corner. Yes? And I changed it. I didn't, but they had a previous fatwa for Mufti As-Sanazar's father. Yeah, Saifur Rahman. So they changed it according to that. Everybody understand that? Yes? That's those few lines that were there. All of it. The number 4. Number 4 is the time. Yes? Is time a condition for Salah? Yes. What is time? Anyone know what time is? What's that? Sometimes the sun doesn't come out in the night, first of all, and the moon doesn't come out in the first day or so, but at the end of the month you can't see it all, can you? Yes. So the starting is there, at the end of the month you can't see it, then we'll have trouble. Do we have any prayers that time? What is time?
Praying in the correct time, like beginning from there.
To understand what beginning time and end time is, we need to determine what time is. Yeah? Beginning and ending is a extension, isn't it? Is an add-on, yes, to time. So what is time?
What's visible in the sky?
What's visible close? But what's visible in the sky, sometimes Mars is there, sometimes it's not. What's that? No. It's simple, we just put it as turning of the sky. That's what time is. The turning of the sky. So we don't make it specific to the sun, the moon, the stars, the north star, whatever stars there are. We don't make it specific because they come and go. Yes? Stars die, new stars are born. We find new planets, planet X. Yes? We have planets and then we demote them to non-planets. Pluto's no longer a planet. Yes? So, but there was a fact, wasn't it? I told somebody to look into fact and truth. Yes? It was a fact when I was in school that Pluto is a planet. Yeah? But it's a fact now that Pluto is not a planet. Okay? You know, when we say the word fact, it's used in a scientific meaning. Yes? That's based on a theory fact. i.e. Zanne ghalib. Zanne ghalib. It's an overwhelming thought. Yes? Meaning, when you say this is a fact, that is that all your research points towards that it should be such and such thing. But you could be wrong. That's a fact. A truth is a truth. Okay? It's a scientific definition for it. Islam doesn't deal with facts, it deals with truths. Yes, and only truths. So time is turning of the skies, isn't it? And we told you that right in the starting of this chapter when we did Kitab al-Salah. I told you then that time is the turning of the skies. Number 5, to believe that the time has entered. So that the prayer that you're going to read, to actually believe that the time is going to, or the time has entered. There's no such prayer without intention, is there? You know, you're close to, I don't know, Asr time, yes? And you say, if it's Asr time, then it's Asr, if it's not, then it's 4 Nafil. You can't do that. You have to believe that the time is in. By believing, meaning you should know with certainty that the time is in, and then pray your prayer. Why? Because the time is not in, then there is no prayer. So you need to have certainty that the time is in. How do we get certainty that the time is in? I'm getting multiple answers. What's that? What did you say? Sorry, I didn't catch it. Turning of the sky. Yeah, but that's obviously we told you signs. Yes? We've told you signs. So you use that. You use those signs and you look at the sky and then you know that Fajr starts when true dawn rises. Yes? So you look at the sign of true dawn, it's there. Fajr ends when the sun rises, sun is coming up. Fajr ended. Zohr starts at when Zawal happens, i.e. the sun moves. Yes, from its highest point. You know that. It ends at either 1 shadow length or 2 shadow lengths. You know that. Asr starts at that time. Asr finishes at the sunset. And so on and so forth like that. They're your signs. Okay. Unfortunately, we've lost that science, haven't we? And we stick it down to calendar. Okay. Number 6, intention. By intention here, I mean intention of the heart, not the verbal intention. Verbal intention according to the Sunnah. And by intention here, we mean that you know what you're doing. Okay? You know what when you come into Salah, you know you're reading Salah, don't you? Yes?
Do you just know which Salah?
That's a different subject. It'll come in another chapter, hopefully. So here you should, meaning that you're coming into Salah, you're joining a Salah at the moment. Mutlaq intention is fine. In other chapter will tell you that if you've read Zohar and you come into Asr and then you said, I'm reading Zohar, your Asr still will be done. Okay? But if you make a specific intention, that I'm doing Qaza of a prayer, but it's Asr time, then your intention will be valid then. Okay, especially when you got qaza on you as well. Another thing which is necessary is tahrima. Tahrima, literal meaning is to prohibit. To get into namaz, you have to prohibit yourself from certain things. Basic thing is food and water. Can you eat in salah? No. So then you need to do that tahrima. That's the Allahu Akbar that we do. The first Allahu Akbar, that's tahrima. With that Allahu Akbar, you make everything haram upon yourself other than what's in salah. And it should be done without a gap. Should be done without a gap. Don't say to yourself, I'm going to pray, and then go do something else. And then come back not knowing what you're doing and say Allahu Akbar. No. Make that intention and then say Allahu Akbar. There shouldn't be a gap in between. Another condition is to bring this as part of the same condition. This is number 7. 6 was intention. Okay, this is number 7. This was number 8. Okay. Number 8 is to perform the tahrima standing before going into ruku. Before going into ruku. So you have to stand. You have to. We see a lot of brothers do this, and that is they be getting late for namaz, the imam's in ruku. Yes. And as they're going down, they say Allahu Akbar. But the truth is, what you have to do? You have to say Allahu Akbar standing, stand for about a second or two, and then go into ruku. If you catch the imam, you catch him. If you don't, then you miss the rakat. Okay? Do you understand that? So you can't be saying Allahu Akbar as you're going down. The Allahu Akbar needs to be said while standing. Number 9. Not to delay the intention after the tahrima. I.e., you make the intention first, then you do the takbir tahrima, don't you? Yes?
So this condition, what they classed as sunnah or what?
These conditions are necessary. I think the farz. Yes. We don't call them farz for a specific reason, but that's to do with fiqh, as in our terminology. Okay? Conditions are always outsiders. Yes? I.e., they're not involved with the essence of what you're talking about. So we're talking about salah here, aren't we? Yes? Is the time part of salah? No? Meaning if I ask you what is salah, would you mention time first? No? What is salah is the farz, isn't it? Is qiyam, is qira'at, is ruku, is sujood, is the last tahiyat, and so on and so forth, like that. Yes? So we have outsiders and insiders. Outsiders, outside of the definition of the thing that you're talking about, this is Nizami for you, this is how we teach them. Outside of the thing that you're talking about, yes, they become conditions. Yes? We say wuzu is necessary for salah, but is salah wuzu? No. If you were to describe salah, would you mention wuzu? No.
So prerequisites you do.
Yeah, prerequisites. Okay, conditions. Okay, that's what we're calling them, aren't we? And if it's an insider, i.e., when you mention the thing and then you describe it, like we say for salah, that is ruku. Salah is that which has a ruku, has a sajda. So sajda and ruku become a fard then, don't they? Yes? You can do that with everything. Do that with, you describe a human being. Okay? We describe a human being, or we define a human being as hayawan natiq. Hayawan natiq. That a human being is an intellectual animal. Okay? Hayawan is animal, isn't it? Yes? Hayawan in Arabic, in Urdu we say hayawan. Okay? Hayawan natiq, intellectual animal. Now here, when we say that, we understand that he's intellectual. That's his essence. Okay? And it's an animal, and then the definition of animal is slightly different. Okay? As in it's a physical and so on and so forth like that. With all those things. But those time and place come into this. Yeah? So you find out time and place is a condition for a human being. Yeah? place. So that's the difference between what he's mentioning. Anyway, so not to delay the intention after the tahrima. According to some ulama, you can delay it. You can delay the intention. Imam Abu Yusuf used to delay the intention. You have to understand here the intention was written in Arabic though. Yeah? The dua is gone on my head, dua of Sayyidina Ibrahim. Anybody recall it? So it's gone on my head. It's a verse of the Quran. So you can read it after the Takbir Tahrima. Okay. Hafsab, do you remember the verse? Sayyidina Ibrahim's verse that we sometimes do the intention with for Salah. Anyway, come back to me. The next one is وَالنُّطْقُ بِالتَّحْرِيمَ, to actually verbally say the tahrima. To verbally say the tahrima. What that means is you have to say Allahu Akbar. Yes? Verbally. When we say verbally here, it means so that in such a voice that at least your own ears can hear it. Okay? To such a point that your own ears can hear it. If you've just come to Salah and you've gone, no prayer, nothing has started. Yes? Yes. To at least such a point that you can yourself hear it. Yes? So you have to recite it yourself. Otherwise there is no Salah. Another condition is intention for the muqtadi to follow the imam. So you should make that intention. Another condition, I think this is number 12, is to appoint your farz. Yes? I.e. that to know that you're reading a farz prayer. And for you to know that you're reading your wajib prayer. Yes? Everyone. The dua for the intention is Allahumma inni tawajjahtu. Again, he's got one in my head. Allahumma inni wajjahtu wajhiya lilladhi fatara as-samawati wal ard. Yes, wa ma ana minal mushrikeen. Okay, comes right at the end of it. Okay. This is the intention that we make. Okay, Sayyidina Ibrahim made this intention. Allahumma inni wajjahtu wajhiya lilladhi fatara as-samawati wal arda hanifa wa ma ana minal mushrikeen. This is the dua that we normally read for intention. It takes out all the gibberish of niyat kiti is namaz di, 2 rakat namaz, farz, piche Shaykhul Islam ke, and you carry on. You just read that short dua and keep everything else in your heart. I'm reading Zohar, whatever you're reading, just keep that in your heart and go along with it. Okay.
What chapter is that?
Surah 6, verse 79. Okay. To appoint the wajib, So when you're reading wajib salah, then you know that you're reading a wajib salah. Okay? This is important as well. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you just think everything is farz, like some people do. Yes. If you intentionally miss your nafala in front of some elders, they say namaz hoyi bhi nahi. Yes. The prayer hasn't taken place because you missed 2 nafala. Okay. Why? Because they believe that you have to do it all just for your isha to be done. Yes. So it's good to know that what's the difference is. But nafil prayer, for nafil specifically, you don't have to appoint anything. You can just keep saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You don't need to have any intention. Yes, in terms of what you're reading. So farz namaz, you should know in your heart that you're reading a farz namaz. For wajib namaz, you should know in your heart that you're reading a wajib salah. As for the sunnahs and everything else, you don't need to make any intention. You could just go straight into it. It's nafil, isn't it?
What if you're constantly missing nafil?
What's that? Doesn't matter. Constantly missing nafil. If you go right back to the starting lessons, what did we say mustahab was? What's the definition of mustahab? That's the translation.
If you do it, you get rewarded for it. If you don't do it, you're not sinful.
You're not sinful. So if you totally leave it, then you're not sinful. Okay.
So you just repeat what you just said here.
The nafil prayer.
Yeah.
The question was that if you constantly miss your nafil, yes, are you sinful? No, you're not. Nafil are nafil, they're optional. If you want to pray them, you pray them. If you don't, you don't. Yes. Is farz to stand in other than nafil? Yes. So qiyam in other than nafil is fard. To recite in the first 2 rakats is farz, if one verse is farz. Okay? To recite one verse in the first 2 rakats of farz namaz is farz. One verse, okay? The rest is wajib, by the way. We're just talking about farz. What's that?
No, 3 verses, just one.
I'm talking about just to recite something in the first 2 rakats of farz prayer, okay, is farz, and that something is one verse. So that one verse is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. No, I'm just talking about generally throughout the whole thing. Yes, Surah Fatiha is wajib, 3 verses of full surah is wajib. Yes, but to recite one verse, minimum one verse, is farz. Do you understand that? That, for example, when you say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, you've done your one farz. The rest of Surah Fatiha is wajib. Yes? So one verse of the Quran to be recited within the first 2 rakats of farz namaz is farz. Okay? And for everything else, i.e. your witr and your nafil, your sunnahs, to recite at least one verse of the Quran is farz in every single rakat. Okay, you got a question?
Yeah, if you have a lot of qazā namaz, so it's, it built up over the years,
You still have to fulfill your wajibs.
so to recite only one verse.
It's not sufficient.
Not sufficient.
No, you have to recite Surah Fatiha and a surah. Yeah. Okay. Farz and wajib you can't miss. Okay, inside salah, the sunnahs and the optional adab, you can miss them out. Okay. Regarding recitation, you should not appoint something specifically from the Quran to recite. But this needs a bit of explanation. That means is that you say to yourself, I'm only going to recite this. If I don't read this, my namaz is not done. Yes? Do it in such a way. Yes? Then that's wrong, isn't it? You say, today I'm going to recite Li'ila fi Quraysh. And because you're so used to reading Surah Ikhlas, you say, Qul huwallahu had. And then you say, no, I'm not having this. And break your salah. That's wrong. You just carry it on, don't you? Yes, if it's a slip of the tongue and you've ended up you've started another surah by mistake, then just carry it on. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. You can't appoint anything for salah. Yes, that's what it means by appointing, with such a belief. Obviously, sometimes you prepare for salah, don't you? You say, okay, today I'm going to read these two surahs. Yes, and then you go into salah and you read those two surahs, or you go into salah, but then your mind lapses slightly and you end up in another surah. You know, when you right in the starting, you're about to recite the surah, but your tongue slips and you straight away start a different surah. But then at that point now, because you haven't appointed in such a belief that I can't read any of the surah, you just carry on what we recited. Okay? That makes sense? Go ahead.
I don't know, we always got told this at mosque that when you're reciting the surahs, you have to go in a certain order.
The order is necessary. What we're saying here is appointing the surah. For example, look, this belief happens for example, in Jummah or in Eid Salah, because it's sunnah to recite Sabbih Isma Rabbikal A'la in the first rakat of Eid prayer. Yes? So you get some elders that believe that you can only recite those surahs. I.e., if you don't recite those surahs, no salah, no Eid namaz. Yes? That's wrong. That's what we mean here.
So out of forgetfulness, you go the other way.
It's you just finish the salah. Obviously, if you just started it off, then you can switch your surah and go, and you've clicked on straight away. Yeah? Then you can change your surah. There's nothing wrong with that. It won't break your namaz, no. Even if you totally read the surah and you've realized that for example, you read Surah Ikhlas first, yes, and then read Inna Atayna al-Kawthar in the second rakat. That's going backwards, isn't it? Yes, it's makruh in itself, but it won't affect your salah in any way. You don't even have to do sajda salah for it. Okay. What you mean here is that you're pointing in such a way that you have this belief that your salah is not done, that you can only recite that surah. Okay. Like they have in Eid prayer sometimes.
Isn't the one thing, the point of the surahs being in order, isn't that only for fard prayer, or is that for every prayer?
For every prayer. The Quran should be recited in order. Yeah? Because according to myself, the order of the Quran is tawqifi. It's dependent on Sharia. It wasn't done by qiyas. It wasn't done by the Sahaba Ikram saying we should put this here and put that there. No. It was the Prophet told Sayyidina Usman and people like Sayyidina Usman that this surah goes here, this verse goes here. Which tells us that the Prophet himself ordered the Quran. Does that make sense? Okay. But then you say, oh, but Sayyidina Ali had a Quran. Yes? And his was ordered by dates of revelation. Yes? We will say that's a work of Sayyidina Ali. That he was trying to preserve the dates of revelation, so that we know what ayat came first and what ayat came after, so that we know those the abrogated verses from the other verses. Yes? And we have books like that as well now, of the Quran, by ulama written, where they tell us which verse was revealed where, so that we know which are abrogated verses. Yes? So he didn't compile the Quran. He worked on the Quran, as so to say, a tafsir of the Quran in terms of its dates it was revealed upon. Okay? So it's a different concept altogether. He says that the muqtadi should not recite anything behind the imam. Okay? You know, in the qiyam, you should not recite anything except for Subhanakallah in the first rakat. In the first rak'ah, only thing you recite is sana. Yes? You just recite your sana. After that, you stay silent. Okay? You stay quiet. It's makruh, tahrimi, to recite behind the imam. So if you recite Surah Fatiha or you recite a surah behind the imam, that is makruh, tahrimi. Okay? We listen and we stay silent. Okay. I've lost the numbers. 16, I think. 20. I've got 16 on here. Okay. Ruku. Even if you mess up with the numbers, I'm mentioning everything anyway. I'm not missing anything out. Ruku is farz. Okay. Number 17 is sajda. But sajda upon something which you can feel the hardness of. By hardness, I mean here is that you feel a plane where your forehead can rest on, as opposed to a sponge, where it keeps sinking. Yes? Imagine thick grass. Yes? Even when you're walking on it, you're not touching the ground. Yes? So then you try to do sajda on that, and you're never going to find the ground then, are you? Yes? It's always going to be soft. You can't do sajda on something like that. Yes? But something hard is fine. Something hard is fine. People start checking the musallas sometimes and how thick they are, and they say you can't. Yeah? One thing about the musallas is that the carpet based, aren't they? So what happens is that they tend to just drop down and you can feel the ground. And especially Imam's musallas, one thing about them is if you look at the back of them, yes, they have a hard back to them. Yes, and that's the hujum that we're talking about. That's the hardness that we're talking about. That when you prostrate on it, your forehead can rest on something, and that's good enough.
So when you get people that read on fields.
Yes, you just need to press the grass down so that you can feel the ground underneath, the soil underneath. Yes, but if it was so thick that you can't, you just keep sinking. Yes, then you can't pray on there. Okay? Or something like a temper mattress. Is that what they have? They just keep sinking, doesn't it? Yes? It won't be possible to pray on that. Why? Because I think it works with your body weight, doesn't it? Yes? Whatever your body weight is, that's how much it'll sink in. The more pressure you're applying, that's how much more it's going to sink in to give you a comfortable position. Which means that it's never going to sink all the way to the bottom. Is it? So which means that it stays soft. When it stays soft, you can't, no sajda. Okay. And remember, it's necessary to sajda with your forehead and your nose. Forehead and your nose. Okay. Brothers, I see a lot of brothers playing peepsy. I call it peepsy. Okay. Where instead of being in sajda, they tend to just lift their nose up and look at the person behind them. Yes? In sajda that is. Okay? Which you shouldn't do. Okay? We shouldn't do that. Both your forehead and your nose need to be on the ground.
But your eyes being open or should?
Eyes should be open. I mean, it's going to tell you that later on anyway, but you should be looking at your nose. Naturally, where your eyes fall, basically. Yes? When I say naturally, they should fall on your nose, not the guy behind you. And remember one thing for Taraweeh, yes? Sajda is not a time for you to scratch your feet. Okay? It's a problem. Majority of the Muslim Bradford have this problem. Yes? And people be doing sajda, and then the men, they put one foot on the other and they start rubbing their feet. Yes? And what's more disgusting is that when you get up from sajda, then all the dry skin is all over the carpet. Okay? So, we have some taqaddus of the masjid as well, have some adab for the masjid that don't do that. And it's the adab of the masjid to always wear socks in the masjid as well. Okay? That you wear socks to the masjid, we don't take our socks off in the masjid. We wear socks, nice clean socks to the masjid. Okay? To stop things like this happening. Okay? Where are we going? Number 18. Number 18 is that your place of sajda should not be higher than the place of your feet. Okay? Your place of sajda should not be higher than the place of your feet. So you can't read in a stairwell, can you? Huh? On stairs, namaz can't be read. The only time you can do this, not in a stairwell, only time your place of sajda can be higher than the place of your feet is if you are in a crowd and namaz has started and you all joined the namaz, but you just realize that you're too close to the person in front of you. Let's say you're the last person right next to the wall, but the person in front of you is too close to you. You can't do sajda, can you? Yes? So where you do sajda here is you wait for the guy in front of you to go down, he does sajda, and you do sajda on his back.
What if he says we?
You stay silent, you don't break your namaz though. Okay? Just let him know beforehand. Write him a message. Do you understand that? Yes? And by this irtifa, we mean about half a meter or half an arm's length. Okay? Half a meter or half an arm's length. Thus, it shouldn't be any higher than that. If it's any higher than that, then your salah is not done. Other than that case I mentioned. Yes? Number 19, to place both hands on both your knees in sajda, on the ground. So you have to have your hands on the ground and you have to have your knees on the ground. It's first to place something of your toes onto the ground in sajda, the apparent, the hidden side. Yes, the sole of your feet, yes, your toes needs to be bent towards Qibla. Okay? It's farz to have at least one of them, and it's wajib to have at least 3 toes on the ground. Okay, not for women. Not for women. For women it's slightly different because the Prophet ﷺ ordered women to do a thing called ilsaq, and that's stick to the ground. Yes? Stick to the ground, hold on to the ground. And that's the only way you can achieve that is without you having your toes erected. Yes? Because if you have your toes erected, that means your foot's off the ground. If your foot's off the ground like that means your shin's off the ground. Yes? And if you have it like that, that also means the other command that women are told to stick their stomach to their thighs. Yes? In sajda, that the thighs should be touching the stomach. You can't fulfill that as well. Because in that case, your thighs will also be erected, like men's. Yes? That's a problem then, isn't it? Yeah, so what will happen is you'll have your feet on the side, feet towards the side, and your shins will be touching the ground, which will mean your thighs are flat. That means now you can do sajda with your chest and your stomach touching your thighs. That makes sense? Yeah, the forearms will be touching the ground as well. Again, it comes under that every part of your body that can touch the ground should be touching the ground. They say read like men, basically. Yeah. It's not wrong. We have evidence for it, we have a hadith sharif for it, we have proofs for it, we have words of the Prophet ﷺ for it as well. It's not wrong. Okay. But we won't say they're wrong as well, because we have the Shafi, some Shafi women really like that. So we don't say they're wrong. It's a fiqh issue. Okay. But this is the Hanfi mazhab. Okay. One thing regarding the feet, remember one thing for women, is that the ankles are part of the aura, aren't they? Okay. Be careful in sajda that they do get uncovered. So it's only best to wear a dress in which you're covered from head to toe. Yes? When you go into sajda, then that dress, the jubba, jilbab, whatever you want to call it, it covers your feet as well. Okay? You have to be careful of these parts as well. This is part of your aura, isn't it? Yes, because we said hand only comes up to your wrist. Okay? So this is aura as well. And what generally happens is the sleeve goes down. So be careful, always wear things that go above. Okay? Remember, your aura is for the outside world. Yes, you do aura when you're coming out into the big bad world. Yes? At home, in front of your parents, you can wear what you wish. Yes, in front of your husband, you can wear what you wish. Yes. Yeah, in front of your mahrams you can wear. If you want to, for example, you don't have to, but if you want to wear, I don't know, like a tank top, okay? I'm just extreme cases, okay? In front of a mahram, it would be permissible, not advisable, okay? It's just an extreme case, yes? If that was to take place, then that's something that's permissible. For the hair to be naked in front of your mahram is fine, okay? Even for your shins, anything below your knee in front of your mahram is permissible to show, okay? And for men is just from your belly button to your knee, and other than that you can act like He-Man, okay? So that's that in front of mahrams. In front of ghair mahram you have to cover up completely.
You said that 3-second rule.
Yes.
You see a lot of older aunties wear the scarf like Pakistani is,
Yes.
and then they go like this.
Yeah, if they do it straight away, then it's fine. If they do it straight away, it's fine. But be careful of see-through scarves. Yeah, see-through scarves are not scarves. I.e. that they don't, Islamically what the job that they're meant to be doing, they don't do then. Yeah, see-through scarves. So you should be careful of that. Be careful of layering your scarves as well.
So is this namaz not valid
No,
then?
namaz, if they see through, then your namaz is not valid. Okay, but if it opens and then you straight away wrap it around, that's fine. Go for it.
Does wearing tight clothes come as covering aura?
In the literal sense, yes, it is covering the aura. But should a person be wearing such tight clothes that it reveals the figure of the body, then that should not be done. It covers the aura in namaz, outside namaz as well. In front of non-mahrams. Okay? Loose clothes. Yes. Yes. One of the conditions of libas, that you wear loose clothing. Okay? In front of your mahram is fine. In front of your mahram is fine. Yes. In front of the ghair mahram is not. In front of ghair mahram you have to wear loose clothing. Like I said, at home you can dress as you please. A lot of the Arab people do that. Yes. Where are we going? So that's the 21, I believe, is to do the ruku before the sajda. That's farz as well. To do ruku before sajda. 22 is when you come out of sajda close to the sitting position. Close to the sitting position is a condition. To come back to the second sajda. So from that sitting position to come back to sajda is another condition. The last at-tahiyat, the sitting, okay? We call it qa'da or qu'ud. The last qu'ud, the last at-tahiyat is farz. Not the reading, okay? The reading is wajib. Meaning to read at-tahiyatu lillahi wa salawatu is wajib. Just the sitting itself, the action of sitting is farz. The last at-tahiyat of every single namaz. We call it tashahhud, precise words. The tashahhud of every single namaz, the last one, the last tashahhud of every single namaz is farz. The middle one's wajib. In 4 rakat namaz you have a middle tashahhud, don't you? The sitting of that is wajib and reading is wajib. The last one is farz, the reading of it is wajib. And to do tashahhud right at the end of salah. I.e. this last part, the qada akhira we call it, for this to be at the end. For the last tashahhud to be at the end as well, meaning after doing all of your other farz. So look, when we're about to finish salah, have you done every other farz? Qiyam, ruku, sujood, everything, haven't we? Yes? What's the last thing we do? The last sitting, don't we? Yes? So that's right at the end, that's the last farz that we have to do. Yes? So in itself, that's a condition. Another condition of salah, number 26 rather. Am I on 26 or 25? Sorry. Number 25 is, I actually mentioned them in, I mentioned that 4 was the last of tahiyat, and then 25 is to delay after all of your fards. Number 26 is to pray the salah or the attahiyat while awake. Okay? So you stay awake and pray. Number 27. To recognize this condition, to recognize the method of prayer. What are the fards in prayer, inside prayer? What is wajib in prayer? What is sunnah in prayer? So that you have a difference between your actions. Okay? So you know the difference between your actions. Not like everything is fards. Okay? Is that qiyam is fards, reciting one verse is fards, reciting the whole of Surah Fatiha is wajib, reciting 3 verses after is wajib. Yes? Going into ruku is fards, reciting Subhan Rabbiyal Azim is sunnah. Yes? Knowing all these things. Yeah? So then you know you give everything its due right then, don't you? Yes? So this is according to him that he says you should know this, and this is a condition of salah. But the truth is, even if you didn't know it, your salah will still be done. As long as you covered everything. He just finishes off by saying that the fards that have been mentioned in the back are really 4. The qiyam, recitation, that's 1 verse, ruku and sujood. And some said that the arkan, i.e. fards, is the qada akhira, to say in the last attahiyat the amount of time it takes to read attahiyat, up to abduhu wa rasuluhu. Okay, that is also fards. So altogether he has mentioned 5. I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to mention something more on it. He says at the end here that some of these conditions are conditions for the correctness of for you to start in prayer to be correct. For your start in prayer to be correct. Yes? So for example, if you look at time. Now your prayer can only start correctly if the time has entered. Yes? So that's a condition for the correctness of starting. Isn't it? So you got conditions like that. Some of these conditions are those that are conditions for prayer to constantly be correct as you're praying it. As you are praying it. Okay. And that was many of the things that we had mentioned. For example, to do sajda upon a firm thing. If you don't do sajda upon a firm thing, will your prayer carry on? It'll just stop where it is, isn't it? It's broken. Yeah? So somewhere like that. But regardless of that, I'm going to come back to the 4 things he mentioned. He mentioned 4 and then one extra 5th one. Altogether, according to us, in the Hanafi fiqh, there are 7 fards of salah. 7 fards of salah that which we should know, regardless of if they are arkan or what. Yeah, we should just know them. So you got tahrima first. Okay. Then you got qira'ah. That's recitation of 1 verse. Then you got qiyam. You got ruku. Sujood. Qada akhira. Last attahiyat. And it's first to sit the amount of time it takes you to read attahiyat, up to abduhu wa rasuluhu. And number 7, you haven't heard of this. What is it? No. Khuruj bi sun'ihi. This is according to Imam Abu Hanifa. According to the rest of them are agreed upon. This one is according to Imam Abu Hanifa. Khuruj bi sun'ihi, which means to come out of prayer. To come out of prayer with intent.
Is that why Shias don't do salam? Is that they're not fulfilling the last condition?
Do they do salam? No. I've never really looked into the Shia prayer. Maybe, yeah, that's why. Khuruj bi sun'ihi means to come out of prayer with your own intent. Yes? Now intent here is salam, isn't it? To say as-salam. Intent could be to laugh out loudly. Yes? So you laugh out loudly and come out of prayer. You finished everything. You read up to you read all of Rabbi Jalni as well. Yes? And now you start giggling loudly. Yes? That's coming out of prayer, but you're doing it with intent. To break your wuzu with intent.
Can you
Okay.
go faster?
Eh?
Can you break a fast with it?
There'll be consequences. That is according to Imam Abu Hanifa, i.e. the prayer will be complete. The prayer will be complete. The Sahiban say slightly something different. Okay? So 7 fards of salah which you should know. All of them. Yes? At the back of your hand you should know them. Okay? These are fards in salah. Next week we will look into most like the wajibat. I might miss this next chapter out. Okay? They'll miss the next chapter. Next week we'll start from the wajibat. Those things which are wajib in salah. Okay? We'll start from there next week. What will we be doing in your Arabic grammar? Anybody remember?
One question from the sister. Do women have to put their arms / elbows down in salah?
Yes. Your forearm should be touching the ground. For women. Men shouldn't do that. Yeah? But should be considerate of other people around.
You know, in the Maliki school of thought, they can like read Tarawih and lead Tarawih by holding the Quran in salah.
Yes, is it?
Is it permissible for Hanafi
No.
to do that?
No.
So even if you're in the congregation but you're not leading,
According to us,
it's not necessary.
memory, to recite of memory is a condition in salah.
So you cannot hold the Quran during salah.
I mean the holding of Quran in itself, there's no problem with that. Yes?
But reading from it,
Reading from is a problem.
but following.
Following is fine, but if he makes a mistake and you call him out on it, yes? You've done an action of reciting. You've done an action of,
By calling him out.
yeah, meaning he makes a mistake
Yeah.
and then you give him a luqma. And by that luqma, what you've done now is you recited the Quran. Yeah? When I say reciting the Quran here, I don't mean that you're reciting the Quran in salah. This is a different action because you got the Quran in your hand.
You need to
Yes?
look at it. So.
Yes, to look at it. You broke your own prayer. And if he takes it, he will break his own prayer as well.
So say you're following and you're holding the Quran and you're following by looking at it, then how would you hold the Quran in sujood?
That's for him to decide now. Yes? We're not going to give him a way out on that.
No, but say like you're the one that's holding the Quran, you're following in the congregation.
When it's according to us that we don't hold the Quran in salah, then we don't need to answer that question.
But say you wanted to, how would you?
We can't though, this is the thing. We'll advise the guy not to do it. Now if he's going to hold it, if he's still going to hold it, then we're going to say to him, now it's up to you how you hold it in sajda now. We're not going to give you a way out. Okay? To stop him from doing that. Okay? Do we do the huruf and nasba, all of them? Yes? An, lan, kay, an, izan. We did them all, didn't we? Do you want to go through them again? Go for it.
In certain surahs where you have to do prostration, so if you need to get behind the imam and you don't know whether you have to do it or not, because we don't always understand, so what do you do in that case?
In that case, you have to follow the Imam. And one of the conditions of following the Imam is to know which position the Imam is in. Yes? If you don't know what position the Imam is in, then your prayer is ended. Okay? Remember that. If you don't know what position the Imam is in, men or women, the prayer has ended. Okay? Men or women. This is why you should always pray in such a position where you can see the Imam. Okay? But if it's on such, if it's, the only problem is in Taraweeh, but they try to make, they try not to read those surahs in normal prayer anyway. Yes? They won't try to read those anyway. Another thing is as well that if they do recite ayat sajda, be sure that he'll end on the ayat sajda, which means that he's gone into ruku anyway. Like if you read Iqra bismi rabbikal ladhi in salah, and you read it all the way to the end, the last ayat is ayat sajda. If you stop on the verse of ayat sajda, you can go straight into ruku. You don't have to do a separate sajda for it. And you can make the intention of sajda within the ruku. Yes? If you intend to carry on reciting, then you have to do a full sajda. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Yes? I've done it here once or twice. I read the whole of Iqra.
You got complaints of it.
I got complaints. Yes, I've recited the whole of Iqra, and then they say to me, why am I doing sajda? Yes, I don't have to do sajda because I made the intention within the ruku. Okay? They do that in Taraweeh a lot of the times as well. Especially if you read behind my ustad, sometimes they won't do all 14 sajda just to keep the manzil going. Yeah, Ustad Sahib reads about 2 spare. Okay? They try to finish it early. I said I was going to do Arabic words today. Okay, we'll do that. We have certain things in the Arabic language, first of all, which easy way to know it are to do with pointing out things. Okay. So to point out things, we have in a close indication and maybe a far indication. Okay. We call this ishara. I'm doing it from my head because I left the book at home. We call this ishara. Like in English we say this and that. Okay. This is in Arabic is, what is it? Say it then. Hada. Have you done the Medina books? I don't like teaching them. I thought I'd tell you. I hate the Medina books. Okay. I taught them once in my lifetime, and I didn't teach them ever again after that. Okay. Hada. This means this. Okay. What's the feminine of it? Hazihi. The reason I don't teach them is because it has got identity crisis. Yes? The book has a identity crisis because it doesn't know if it's teaching grammar or if it's teaching conversational Arabic. Okay? You've seen, haven't you, that he goes through them and then all of a sudden it's grammar, it's mubtada khabar, muzaf, muzaf ilay, all these things start coming, don't they? So it has that problem with it. So haza is masculine. So when we say this, but it'll be for masculine. Hazihi will be feminine, which is this again. In English we only got this. Okay? But it's for feminine. Yes? This is for feminine. So what's the, if I was to point out a masculine thing, give me an example of a masculine thing. Come on.
Chair.
A house, let's take a house or a room. Okay. How do we say it? Come on, those of you that done it. So we got baita, haven't we? How would we say it? I want to say this house. Haza? You got it wrong? Hazal baytu. Yes? Hazal baytu. It's not a complete sentence, okay? It's just this house or this room. Bayt, multiple meanings. Take it as room. This room. This, is that a complete sentence? It's not, is it? Yes? It's an incomplete sentence. Okay? هذه الامرأة. You can say mar'a as well. Doesn't make a difference. That I'll translate as this woman. This woman. Yes? One of the signs of feminine is this ta. You know, sometimes you can make a difference between masculine and feminine. When ta like this appears, this ta are both the same. You know, the end of words, you sometimes have a ta like that. Yeah? We call it ta ta'nis. Ta of ta'nis. That will let you know if it's masculine or feminine. If it's there, it's feminine. If it's not there, then it's most likely going to be masculine. Most likely. Okay? Not necessarily. So, hazal bayt. So, first thing is, bayt is room. Bayt is room. And haza, if you call it isme ishara, which is to point out something, this. Okay? When you say this. Haza was for close, wasn't it? So if you say this room, you say hazal bayt. Okay? Hazal bayt. What's for far? Dhalika. Dhalika is for far. Okay? Dhalika. What's for feminine? Tilka. Learn these words, you can just write them down. Tilka. So Zalika and Tilka. This is for far. Zalika al-kitabu. Yeah. That book. That book. Okay. And here you can just do the same. Tilka al-mar'a. Imra'a, sorry. Imra can translate as wife as well. That wife. Okay. Or that lady. That lady. Don't worry about these words. Okay. Worry about these. So we learn one thing today at least. And that is that haza is ism ishara qareeb. And that means is to point out something and indicate something that is close. And we're going to ask what's closeness? Closeness is something that's subjective. Yes? I'll say this mic is far. You'll say it's close. Yes? It's subjective, isn't it, to the person. So however you interpret it as yourself. Yes? However you look at it. Yes? When I say haza rajul, somebody will say zalika rajul. Yes? One person, this man, someone said that man. Yes? So it's subjective, is how you use it. What you feel is close and what you feel is far. But you can do the gardan of these as well, can't you? The masculine will be haza, hazani, hazaini, haula'i. Okay? Just slightly different. I'll take it off and I'll put it on. So you got haza, hazani, hazaini. They're both the same. Haula'i. That's masculine and singular. So it'll be wahid muzakkar. This is tasniya muzakkar. This is jama muzakkar. Okay? But we'll do that some other time. So this is for the masculine. if you look at it, those signs that we gave you in your normal gardans, yes, they're still there, aren't they? Alif is there. Forget that one, that's just the extra one. Okay? And just this one's the odd one out. Okay? So it means this. Haza means this. We have a concept of common and specific nouns, which you should understand as well. Okay? Common nouns are those nouns which can be used for anything, like a chair. Okay? But a specific noun will be the chair. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but these are part of specific nouns. These are part of, because when you point it out, when you made it specific, this, you say this book, yes? So now the noun that you're going to use after it, the ism that you're going to use after it, has to have a sign of a specific noun. And that is the word al. That is the word al. So you might have haza, and then let's put kitab after it, and know the difference between these two sentences. Yes? This would translate as, if you had it like this is a common noun at the moment. What is this? A common noun, which is a book. What does this translate as? A book. What does haza translate as? This. So what do it mean? This, a book. Literal would be this, a book. Unfortunately, we don't have, for us English readers, we don't have is and are in the Arabic language. Yes? The is and are is hidden over here. Okay? So this will translate as this is a book. This is a book. Is that a sentence now? It is a sentence, isn't it? Okay. But if I wrote Haza al-Kitab, yes? What would it translate as now? No? It changes it. This book. We don't have to say the, even though al translates as the, but we can, for the sake of English, we can not translate it, and we can say this book. This is doing the job of the, isn't it? Yes, it's making it specific. So this book, the sentence needs to carry on. Yes? This book. Okay? For example, I say هذا الكتاب لجميل. Okay? So this book, now is will come over here, is for Jamil. Is for Jamil. Now is a sentence, isn't it? You don't need to concentrate on that. Don't concentrate on Jamil. Concentrate on how that difference happened. If we take the al out, it makes it a proper sentence, a full-on sentence. You've learned something. This is a book. This is a book. But if we change it and put al on the kitab, it changes it and it means this book. I.e., you need to carry on your sentence. So you might say this book is for Jamil, i.e., belongs to Jamil. Do you understand that?
The specific book is for Jamil.
Yes. So you can do that with every single word, like do kursi. Okay. How would you do it for kursi? Let's make both sentences again. So you got haza in the starting. Now I put kursi. What would that translate as? This is a chair. But if I wrote hazal kursiyu, this chair, i.e. the sentence needs to carry on. Okay? If I say haza baytun. Baytun. Okay, what's that? Okay. This is a room. I want to give you another sign. If you have this alif lam in the starting, the kursiyun, this tanween disappears. It'll go from kursiyun to al kursi you. Al kursi you. Do it here. Haza baytun. When we put al bayt, we'll say al baytu, but then you can put haza in front of it. Hazal baytu. Haza doesn't have to always be the starting of the sentence, by the way. Okay, we're just learning haza. That's why we keep doing that. Okay? Don't start thinking that haza in Arabic has to be the first word to start with. Okay? So hazal baytu. So the difference is this is a house or a room, and this room, and the sentence will carry on. Okay. That's that. Okay. So I want you to learn them. Haza, hazani, hazaini, and haula'i. Haza, hazani, hazaini, haula'i. Learn them, inshallah. We'll carry on with this next week. It seems fun. Inshallah.
We just got one question.
Let's just answer this question before you go.
Can we pray our salah on our own when the adhan has happened in mosque before the Jamaat happens?
Yes, you can. It's permissible, but you should join the Jamaat as well.
What was the question?
If you can read your salah after the adhan has taken place, but before the Jamaat? Yes, you can. You can pray. Inshallah. Just any more questions? No? We'll let you go then, inshallah.